Hey yo, welcome back. Happy Monday. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to be watching a video titled Rabbi Elhanan Beck, Judaism is Against Israel and Zionism. I feel that this is an important topic for the entire world to gain knowledge on, to know the difference between Judaism and Zionism. I feel like there's a lot of hate in this world right now because there's no, that person has not sought out the information. They don't know the difference. I know that right now in a lot of social media spaces, it's popular to hate Jews, to hate Zionism, and there's never a distinction of what I see between the two. So I think that this will be a really good watch for all of us. Okay, let's get into it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers, sisters, friends, and the foes out there. And welcome to another episode of the Blood Brothers podcast with your host, Didi Hussein. Before I introduce today's guest, I want to remind all the avid podcast listeners that you can find this show and all three seasons, all the major audio platforms. And if you're tuning in and watching via YouTube, don't be cheeky. Remember to click subscribe to the Five Pillars YouTube channel. Today's guest is someone who is making a reappearance after 2 years. I'm honored to have him on. He's an appropriate and relevant guest for the events that have been taking place in occupied Palestine. He's a rabbi, a chief spokesman of the anti-Zionist Neturei Karta movement, and that's none other than my friend, Rabbi Elhanan Beck. Rabbi, welcome to the Blood Brothers podcast.
Thank you, welcome, thank you.
How's things?
Thanks to God. We hope to God, we pray to God.
Last time we spoke, it was a different setting. It was a bit of a funnier setting. We'll save that story for another time. The events of the 7th of October, Saturday, the 7th of October, Operation Al-Aqsa flood by Palestinian fighters in Gaza. Was that a mistake from them?
Give a look. In reality, I'm not a politician, and my look is more from the religious background as a rabbi. However, as I understand that, what's happened on the 7th on October, this doesn't happen really on the 7th. This happened for 75 years ago. This is only the outbreak what's happened, what comes after oppression of 75 years. Oppression, killing, taking away land, controlling someone, controlling a whole nation. When to have electricity, when not. When to have water, and when not. How many hours a day, how many not. This is crazy. It's unbelievable how people can live under such a big oppression from other people on the head. They say they give them the land of Gaza as a piece of land to rule themselves. What kind of ruling self is that? That they're controlling everything there. So it's an outbreak what's happened, and it's not unforeseen. Everybody can understand that oppression of 75 years brings things what nobody like it. Anyway, yes, this is more or less the answer what I have on this.
Is this something which Israel should have expected or seen coming?
Of course, if they have a bit of mind, of course they can understand that oppression will fire back. It's impossible the other way. What I can say, in my opinion...
That was your opinion?
Yes. However, I think that... Anyway, yes, of course. I mean, everybody would have... just to understand something, you can understand oppression will only bring outworks like that. Of course, nobody looks for bloodshed, nobody, but this is the price for oppressing other people.
How do you feel our government, our media, has responded to this? Have they helped the situation? Have they made it worse for the situation? Have they been on the side of the oppressed over the oppressor? How has the UK government, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, and the newspapers and the channels, how have they been since the events of the 7th of October?
Give a look again. I'm not that politician.
I think you'd make a great one.
And especially, I didn't want to comment about our president, as we are guests in this land, as Jews, we are in exile. And we are thankful for the hospitality, the good hospitality what they give us. And especially thankful for they give the right to speak for everybody, the free speech.
Have free speech when you can't say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
At the moment, still we can say
At the moment, we still can, but there's conversations now to stop this free speech.
I don't think it's so clever, because if they will oppress the Muslim people, look, last Saturday it was 300,000 people on the streets. 1 week before it was 150,000. If you will silence them, think what will happen. Think. I didn't want to bring it out of my mouth. If you silence people by oppressing the voice, the free speech, nothing good will happen from that. I can promise you. I don't know what.
I absolutely agree with the rabbi here. You see that in the United States and with our history is, and this is a natural human instinct, is when you are oppressed for so long, there ends up being a point where you have no choice but to fight back or to be destroyed, essentially. So yeah, I mean, whew, yeah, I really, I'm liking this so far.
But it will be terrible. The best way for our government, for USA, for all the governments from the free countries is to give this free speech for anybody. However, again, I'm not a politician, and I didn't want to comment about our country. One thing I can say, that I understand why the USA and the UK and the EU or something, countries like that, wants to help Israel, because they find a bit guilty why they didn't help Jewish people on the Second World War, when it was the Holocaust. 6 million people has been killed, and they didn't do at this time too much, and they want to make sure it won't happen again, and because of that they're trying to help Israel to make Jewish people safe and strong.
Is it a type of guilt?
Huh?
Do you think it's a type of guilt?
I think so. Or maybe it's not guilt. Maybe they feel this is the right thing what to do. And really, I'm thankful for the goodwill, but they're mistaken completely. The state of Israel is not in any case in favorite for the Jewish people. They didn't bring any safeness for the Jewish people. Not in Israel and not all over the world. I give you an example. I mean, when you look just the right facts, when you look just plain facts, look where is the most unsafest place for Jewish people today, not for Palestinians, for Jewish people today. Try to go around the whole world, you will come to one point, state of Israel. It is the most dangerous place when a person go out with his kids in park, he don't know if he will be back. There is an unsafe place. There is an unsafe place. It is the only danger place for Jewish people. Jews live all over the world peacefully. I live here in England 36 years. Before that, I used to live in the USA. Before that, in Canada, everywhere was peace. I have no any problem there. As I tell for many people, I live here 36 years. I don't know how an English soldier looks like.
You said this last time.
I never saw him.
You still don't know how he looks like?
No, I never saw them. I saw them only in changing of the guards.
Okay.
This means a safe country. Yes.
That is very interesting for a Jew to be safer outside of Israel than inside of Israel. that concept to me. You know, I've never heard someone word it like that perspective. But as we see what is happening, I can see how that is actually true.
Of the gods.
Okay.
This means a safe country. Yes. Now, in Israel, every small child knows all types of weapons, of tanks, of soldiers. This means a safe country. It is the most unsafe place for Jewish people, not to speak of Palestinians. And take, for example, even the Muslim countries. Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Iran, Iraq, Turkey, all the places
Jewish quarters.
Jews live such, they have no problem at all. I myself, I was in Morocco for a few years ago, just across the border from Spain to Morocco. I can't believe the Muslims come to me, Rabbi, bless my children. And I think, what's going on here? After 70 years of oppression, 70 years of killing, still the Muslim people are so kind. And they come to me, Rabbi, bless my children. How this come? But you can see all over the world, Jewish people live a beautiful life. Everywhere, everywhere. And I myself, I didn't was not in Iran, not in Turkey, Morocco. I was, however, my friends was in Turkey, Morocco, in Yemen. They saw a brilliant Jewish life. Jewish institutes, everything peacefully, everything, even the Muslim countries. The state of Israel is the most dangerous place on the world. So the state of Israel is not in any case in favor of the Jewish people. This just bring Jews into danger. And from the other hand, they say they want to save Jewish people from anti-Semitism. Now just open the eyes and give a look if they're saving anti-Semitism or they're raising up anti-Semitism. Since the Second World War, anti-Semitism goes out of fashion. Every politician, if you say even one word looks anti-Semitic, is off the map.
Finished, career
yes,
finished.
Take for example Jeremy Corbyn. I know him the last 15 years, personally. I speak with him many times. When he see me by demonstrations, or I was in the House of Parliament, he saw me, he come to me, oh, Rabbi Beck, how are you? He's very friendly to Jewish people. When we have a problem about many things, we have an open heart by him, open air, open heart. He's not anti-Semitic at all. But the Zionists try, because he's anti-Zionist, they try to find even some word where they can think maybe it's anti-Semitism out of the map.
So why is Zionism not the same as Judaism?
Yes, but just 1 second. I want just to finish.
Yeah, sure.
So anti-Semitism goes out of fashion. Who raising today's day anti-Semitism?
Israel brings it back into fashion.
Only Israel. I give you an example. Just now, on the 7th of October, yes, I walk in the street and I heard behind me, Hitler, Hitler. What's that? One day before, they didn't say Hitler. The 7th of October, this rings Hitler, Hitler.
So you're saying Israel's crimes and occupation against the Palestinians is increasing anti-Semitism on the streets of everyday capitals outside of Israel?
Yes. So I come back to the question what you're asking me, what I have to say to the government. Again, I didn't want to criticize the government.
I'm sorry,
it's my government. It's not a problem. However, but I understand they want to help Jewish people. But this is not helping for Jewish people to help Israel. If they really want to help Jewish people, please make the peaceful dismantlement of the state of Israel. If they will invest 10%.
Wow, the peaceful dismantlement of the state of Israel coming from Rabbi Elhanan Beck. I know I did not pronounce his name correctly. That is just so powerful to hear him say that. Because as I said, there's so much confusion on what is Judaism, what is Zionism, and it's the same in the United States that if in any capacity you use Zionism or the word Zionist in like a negative way, you're definitely most likely going to get banned, from some type of social media application. You could potentially be fired from your job wherever you're working at on. So what he is saying, that is accurate. His experience, it seems more so in the UK at this time, but I would say that the United States is identical in that regard. And he was going back earlier and talking about he always has the positive interactions with Muslims. And I want to also say that that has been 100% of the case with me as well. So you can see there's a lot of propaganda in this world. It can be difficult at times to know what is even going on because we have 1,000 different news stations and channels, and all of them have their own take on it, and it's just out of control. So I'm really appreciating this to see a Muslim and a practitioner of Judaism sit down and have a calm and intelligent talk. I think this is really great. This is awesome. Okay, let me go back just a bit.
Peaceful dismantlement of the state of Israel. If they will invest 10% of the money what they invest in Israel, they will invest it to dismantle Israel in a peaceful way. They will find the way. If there is a will, they will find a way. This will be the real solution for Jewish people. And Jews can still live in Palestine. Both parties, Fatah and Hamas, declared many times openly, we have no problem with Jewish people as Jews. We have a problem with occupiers. If the Jewish people want to live a peaceful life, they are welcome. So if the English government wants to help Jews, please dismantle the state of Israel in a peaceful way. Nobody looks for bloodshed.
Why is Zionism? Why is Judaism not Zionism? So the Zionist nationalist movement, as it's normally described, Zionism is a type of Jewish nationalism that was born in Europe at a time where nationalism was going across the whole continent. And why is that not the same as Judaism?
Give a look. There's completely a confusion here of concepts. What is Judaism? Judaism is a religion. It's not a nation. It's not nationality. It's not a race. Judaism is a religion.
But the Jewish prophets, and we believe Bani Israel, the prophets, King Solomon, Prophet Sulaiman, Prophet Dawood, they had states. They had kingdoms.
Yes, fine. But first thing, I will give you an example on the other side. What is Islam?
It's
a religion.
It's a worldview.
But there is Islam states. But there's no connection between this.
You
can be Islam with a state. You can be Islam without a state. Islam is Islam. Now, of course, if you have a state, it's much better. You can save better the religion. You can do.
Yes.
It gives you
benefits to the religion.
Yes. But it haven't got to do nothing with a state. If they will take away all the states of Islam, there still will
be Islam.
Islam. Yes, in people who are following this religion, they are Muslims. People who are not following this religion, even they're running all the Muslim countries, they are not Muslims. Yes, if somebody will say, look, I'm already 20 generations Muslims, but I'm not a believer, what you will tell him, you are a Muslim or not? Of course not. The same thing as Jews. Judaism is a religion. This is not a nationality, not a race. Everybody can join Judaism and can go away from Judaism. Again, when I say go away, I must give a point that in our religion, you cannot go away from Judaism. That means you're still obligated to keep the religion once you were born a Jew, or
for the 7 laws of Noah.
No. Well, I come to 7 laws. No, but if you are born as a Jew, or you convert to Jewish, then you have to stay Jewish. And because of that, we haven't got a missionary system in Judaism, because God didn't ask for people to become Jewish. You can be a Gentile. If you keep the 7 laws of Noah...
This is to the Jewish tradition.
Yes. You can be just a Gentile, keep the 7 laws of Noah, and then you will get your part in paradise. God don't ask everybody to come to Judaism. But if you come, you haven't got 7 laws. You have 613 laws. So we didn't want to bring in people into the religion, and then they cannot go back, and they will go back, and then they will get punished for that.
Would you say that's one? Would you say that's one of the reasons why the global Jewish population is actually very small? Would you say that?
1 second. Let me finish.
Sorry. You finished that. Sorry.
Come back to this question.
Yeah.
So again, Judaism is a religion. Haven't got nothing to do with any state. Even King Solomon and King David, in there was a state in the Holy Land, but it's no connection with that. Judaism is a religion. Now, who is considered as a Jew? Somebody what believes. Somebody what a non-believer, they can call themselves Jews. Yes, like somebody say, if you have a large population, what they are they're coming from Muslim roots. They will say we are Muslims, but they are non-believers. They leave the religion. They will say we are Muslims. Yes, we are Muslims. I think there is many Muslims today, but they are not keeping the religion. They say Muslims, but you say they are false Muslims.
Obviously, I want to, so long as you testify the Shahada, we accept that you're a Muslim. You could be a good one, bad one, better one. But I think you're talking about through lineage. Are you talking about for like if your predecessors were Muslim and you don't practice it, but you say you are, you're not really a Muslim. You're right.
So, however, this is Judaism. Now, Judaism is built up of believing in God. It's every religion. Believing in God means trusting God 100%. All the ways how He's running with us. Trusting God doesn't mean only in good times, when it's everything is light, everything. Trusting God means also when it's bad times. You know, I don't understand. God understands better. Everything what He's doing, He is for our favorite. He cares for ourselves. He knows everything. We believe. Jewish people are believers in God. We trust in God in every way how He runs with us. He goes on with us. Zionism is built up by non-believers. Theodor Herzl, he was the father of Zionism, and he was a non-believer. His own son didn't make a circumcision.
Really?
But yes, this is one of the basic laws.
A covenant.
But even many Jewish people what are not observant Jews, but they're still keeping the circumcision. This is because our forefather Abraham.
Is that like the bare minimum?
Yes, this is one of the But
Ben Gurion was an atheist.
He was atheist, 100%. They don't believe in God at all. So, Jewish people, when God exiled us of the land, I come to the beginning of that. We believe that God promised the land for the Jewish people, but it was only under certain conditions. If we keep a high moral of life. If not, it's written in the Torah 36 times that we will be exiled of the land. When you look in the books of the prophets, especially Yirmiyahu, Ezekiel, Yeshayahu, you see that God warns the Jewish people to repent and to come back to God. And if not, you will be exiled. In the end of Yirmiyahu, you can see that God exiled the Jewish people. We didn't exile of the land because we was weak. When you look in the books of prophets, you see that Jewish people was very strong at this time. However, this was a punishment of God. Jewish people are believers in God. When God sent us in exile, we're staying in exile. He besworn us not to go out of exile before the coming of Messiah.
Is this a mainstream belief?
Yes. And He besworn us with 3 oaths. Now, going out of exile is a rebellion against the Almighty. It's simple. Like if you have a child, he's bad. You told him, stand in the corner for 10 minutes. He coming out. What means that?
He's rebellious.
Couldn't care less about you, about your punishment. I do whatever I want. The same thing. If God sent us in exile, we going out means rebellion against God. Believers in God cannot do such a thing. We know it's very comfortable to have your own country, but we are believers in God and we accept everything what God do. The Zionist people are atheists, so they say, how long we will stay in exile? Why? There is no reason for that. They don't believe that God exiled them. We have to organize ourselves. We have to take the land over.
Yes.
I think that's an important distinction he made, that the possibility that if you're identifying as a Zionist, that it does seem clear that you could potentially also be an atheist as well, because you're not following your religion. You're doing whatever you want. And I would argue that people that do whatever they want, they ultimately decide what is right and wrong. That would be identical to modern day Satanism, is that you become your own God and your own judge, and you can decide if you want to be what society would consider to be a good person, or you can be a bad person. But the judge is in your own mind. You control your own guilt, and that's a very dangerous way to live, a slippery slope, and it's always going to end up downhill for sure. All right, let's go back just a bit.
How long we will stay in exile? Why? There is no reason for that. They don't believe that God exiled them. We have to organize ourselves. We have to take the land over.
Yes.
So it's very simple that you can understand that Zionism is built up on atheism, of mistrusting God, not trusting God. Judaism is built up of trusting in God. Anyway, he runs with that. Yes, we believe in God every way. I know many people asking me, give a look what's going on 80 years ago, but the Holocaust, 6 million Jews has been killed. How do you can say that God looks after you? I answer them, give a look. Sometimes a person feels bad going to the hospital. The doctor told him, you need an operation, and it will be painful. And he decide, yes, what can I do? I want to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor made him the operation, and it was very painful. After recovery, he goes out of the hospital. What's he doing for the doctor? Thank you. He pay money. Why? He caused you so much pain. Why? Because he believe. He don't understand why he do this, why he cut, why he makes the pain. He don't understand. He's not a doctor. Yes, but he believed that the doctor do everything for his favorite. It looks very bad. Yes, when you come in the middle of operation, you see a person stay and cutting another person. You're crazy. What's going on here? You are a murderer. Yes, but when you understand the reason for that, he wants to save his life.
Yeah,
say something different. The same thing. We don't understand. Our mind is very, very small. God's mind is very big. There is no end to that. Everything what God do, even the Holocaust, it was it was a big operation. We don't know why. We don't know what the outcome of that is. However, God knows. We are total believers, 100% on anyway. However, the Zionists are not believers, so they want to take the state. So you ask me, what's the difference between Jews and Zionists? Zionism is the total opposition from the Judaism. Diametrically opposed of Judaism. Judaism is believing in God, and Zionism is mistrusting God. Zionism is against all the religions, against God, against everything. They don't believe in God, that's all. So this is very, very in the root, what we are separate from Zionism. And this even the Zionists doing the land in a free land. Doubles and triples the crime when they're doing that on the head of other people, taking away the land of other people by killing them, by robbing away the land of them. This, of course, makes the crime double and triple. In the Torah, it's written in the 10 Commandments, don't kill, don't steal. So this is really the difference between Zionism and Judaism.
There is around 16 to 17 million Jews around the world.
Just 1 second.
Was that a prayer before you drink water?
Before we eat, before we drink, we make a prayer.
Yes. When we say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There's 16 to 17 million Jews around the whole world, everywhere. How many of them do you think are Zionists? Or how many of them do you think believe and support that there has to be a state for the Jews to prevent such a thing like the Holocaust from happening again? How many of the global population of Jewry, which is 16 to 17 million people, how many of them do you think are supporters of Israel? I know there is no research, no data, but your feeling, what is your feeling?
I answer you with a question. People say Jews answer always with questions. First thing, I ask another question. There's 15 to 18, I didn't remember the number what you said, Jewish people.
16 to 17 million.
16, 17. How many of them are Jews? As I told you.
Oh, whoa, you've gone that way.
Yes.
So you are from the position that a Zionist is not actually a true Jew.
100%. That's what I told you before. I told you before, Judaism is a religion. How many of these people keeping the religion?
But they
This is the
look
question.
like you, they talk like you, they speak like you, they claim to follow the same Talmud, they claim to follow the same religious books, they seem to believe, I'm saying the Zionists, they say this.
No. Just look the facts. People looks like me. People what keeping Shabbos, eating kosher. You have only 1 to 2 million. That's
Okay.
all. Not more. All the rest are secular. Now, in my belief, that's what I told you before, Judaism is a religion. If you are secular, we don't count them as a Jew. They can say what they want. They want Israel. They didn't want Israel. I mean, they can say whatever they want. They are not from my religion. They can be born by Jewish parents. Could be. If they want a state, take a state. Do whatever you want. But you are not Jewish.
Do you have any family or friends living in occupied Palestine?
Of course, a big family. And my family there, maybe it's counting 2,000.
Wow.
And how do they describe life there?
I come back to this question. I want to keep one question.
No worries.
Now, when we come back to the question of 16, 17 million Jews, first of all, take away 15 of them. I mean, I don't speak in behalf of them, and I ask them, please don't speak in behalf of me. I'm a believer, I'm an observant Jew. You want to be so-called secular Jew? I don't know what it means, secular Jew, because secular Jew is
Contradiction.
yes, like some people say, I'm a secular Muslim.
Yeah, we don't believe, we reject this.
It's impossible. However, if they want to say that, and they have a majority, they have 50 million of them, okay, say whatever you want.
That doesn't make them right.
Yes. However, I speak in behalf of Jewish people who looks like me. Yes. Now, I come to this question, what you're asking in the beginning. Of these people, what I speaking in behalf of them, yes, how many of them are Zionist, pro-Zionist, how against? What I can say on that most of them are strong anti-Zionists. And the rest of them, 95%, are non-Zionist. What it means, non-Zionist? State of Israel not a part of their life. They haven't got nothing, any connection with them. It's no. They have their businesses, they have their religion, they have their studies. No, if Israel will come to an end, they will not shed a tear of that. It's not a part of the life. So again, I come back. 95 of people, what looks like me, observant Jews, yes, real Jews, they are non-Zionist. And most of them are anti-Zionist. And I give you the proof of that. Go in any neighborhood where you see people looks like me, yes, real observant Jews, payers with a beard, with a kippah, yes, normal observant Jews, you won't find the Israeli flag. Let's say in my area in Stamford Hill, yes, come over, you're invited, try to go all over the area, you won't find a single Israeli flag. I give you another example. In our calendar, yes, all Jewish calendar, not so-called Jewish calendars. Yes, I take this out. For example, the calendar. At any calendar, what you buy in any Jewish neighborhood. Jewish neighborhood, again, I speaking, people looks like me. Mm-hmm. This type of Jews. It's coming to the Israeli Independence Day. There is no mention, nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. It looks like every day. All the schools are the same, the prayers are the same, nothing mentioned in the Israeli Independence Day. People looks like me, not only here in Stamford Hill, even in New York, in Canada, in Toronto, in New Jersey, in Lakewood, in Argentina, in Australia, in Cape Town, everywhere, in Vienna, in Switzerland, where you see a Jewish neighborhood, you won't find the Israeli flag. As more religious you are, as more anti-Zionists there are. So, again, when you're asking the question, how many Jews are supportive Zionists, I can say 95% are against the state, are non-Zionist, and most of them are against the state of Israel. However, again, and even in the state of Israel, I come back to the other question you asked about my family. In the state of Israel, there are hundreds of thousands of Jews, but they are against the state of Israel, and they are waiting for the dismantlement of state of Israel. Of course, they are in the problem, and of course they are waiting for a peaceful dismantlement. Nobody looks for bloodshed, and especially them, when they are under the fire. However, there are hundreds of thousands of Jews that don't take any benefits of the I know many of my family, they get the social
The welfare.
welfare. I know one of my cousins, yes, every month he get a check.
Rips it up.
He make, no, not rips up so soon. He makes a big party, all his children, grandchildren, then he take it out to show them these are enemies. I don't take any money from them. Yes, and he's not a rich man. Yes, he's a poor man. He needs the money. But this is my enemies. This is the enemies of God. I don't take any benefit of the enemies of God. Who is the enemy of God? This is my enemy also, because I'm loyal to God. And they don't participate in the votes, and they don't join the army. Our rabbis say for the youth, rather go to prison than to go to the army. And that's what they're doing. There are many people in the Israeli prison because they didn't want to go to the army, didn't want to save the army. However, I can't ignore it, and this is true, that there is in Israel people they're calling settlers. They looks like Jewish people, looks like me.
That is what I was talking about.
Yes, but they are strong Zionists. They are in the front line.
With guns.
Yes, with the Zionism, and it looks like me. There are not so many people speaking about the religious. There are many settlers, but they are secular. But the settlers, what are religious, there are not so many as they are vocal. And they're making every time noise. They are very noisy.
Like the Third Temple movement.
Yes. They're very noisy. However, but there are a small minority of the real Jewish, and when I speak Jewish, I'm speaking about religious Jewish population, the anti-Zionist Jewish population, even in the state of Israel.
So just to clarify for our viewers and listeners, when I asked you about the global population of Jews and how many of them were Zionists, you asked the question back to me that you're asking is, how many of them are actual Jews in the first place?
Yes.
Okay, because for you, theologically, there is a contradiction between a Zionist and an actual Jew who follows Judaism.
Yes.
Because Zionism is a manifestation of rebellion against God.
Yes.
Okay.
But beside, I know there's very much secular Jews, but are also against the state of Israel.
Okay, yes.
I saw them in the street this Saturday.
Yeah.
Hundreds or thousands, many secular Jews. But the last speech what I gave in Liverpool, one of the crowd was a Jewish man. He told me, Rabbi, I'm sorry, you embarrassed me. You told me that I'm not a Jew, I'm a secular Jew. You're anti-Zionist. I told him, give a look, I didn't want to embarrass you. However, I'm proud that at least this part of Judaism you keep, that you are anti-Zionist. And I hope this brings you to keep the whole religion.
Wicked. Tell me about your family members, the 2,000 or so. How's life in occupied Palestine?
Yes, give a look. You live under under a government. You have to understand, this government are the enemies of God, and because of that, these are our enemies. This is very hard, but not everybody can go out. Yes, my family is already 7 generations in Jerusalem. Yes. To go out, it's very hard. Yes, you have here the whole family, everything. But since the creation of the state, 1948, tens of thousands of Jewish families has gone out because they didn't want to live under the Israeli government. Including between them is my family. My father decided on 1970 that finish. He cannot live here. He fight from the beginning of Zionism, from the beginning of the State of Israel till 1970, fight with the Zionists. My father, he passed away already, he's very old. He should be today in the high 90s. However, but in 1970 he decided it's impossible to live here. So he gone out. But you cannot say for 2 million people, please, go out. Yes, it's in people what they live there much more before Zionism come in to the whole agenda. I mean, yes, so
you know, you said just now, you said, how do you expect 2 million people to leave who've been there for 7 generations? Do Palestinians have a right to resist those who say they should be leaving to the Sinai Desert or to Jordan? Do they have a right to resist those who say...
What I can say is that the Palestinians have the full right of the whole land. The land is theirs. They live there for not 7 generations, maybe 70 generations.
70.
Okay, let's go back and let's listen to him say that one more time.
What I can say is that the Palestinians have the full right of the whole land. The land is theirs. They live there for not 7 generations, maybe 70 generations.
70.
Yes, you have to add a 0.
In the 7th century.
And what the Zionists did, not now, what they did for 100 years ago, by tricks, they bring up much Jews from European countries to make up a majority. And that's what I want to tell you before when you ask me what I have to say about the 7th of October. Every time you have to go back to the root, to understand the root. Yes, I'm a teacher. One times comes a child, teacher, he hit me. Oh, he's so bad. No, please, look the whole thing, what's happened, what you did to him before that. Yeah, you have to look the whole situation around. You can't say, oh, how did George the 7th of October? You have to look the whole picture. The same thing in everything, you have to look in the whole picture, in the rightful picture, on the right way. Don't ignore parts because you have a will so, because it's benefit for you. Please look the picture objective like it is. Everybody knows that the Jewish population was very small, till 100 years ago, 120 years ago. It was very small percentage of Jewish people lives in the Holy Land. And there was a very beautiful life together with the Muslim people, because they have no aspirations to take over the land. So the Muslim people are really very kind people. In the hospitality is very good. It's unbelievable.
Do you accept that in Islamic, you hear of Judeo-Christian history, but really if you look at Islamic Jewish history, the Islamic civilization always treated Jews better than Christians. I say this unreservedly, uncontested. The Jews that were driven out of Spain came to Ottoman Europe. The Jews were brought back to the Holy Lands by Salahuddin al-Ayyubi because the Crusaders had expelled them. There is a long history and tradition of flourishing Jewish communities. Hence why you go to Morocco, you go to Turkey, there's still Jewish quarters with Jews still living there. Do most Jews know this history?
Of course we know. We know. We have a golden history in the Muslim countries. Everybody knows that. We live there much better.
They say the golden era was like, it overlapped actually. The golden era of Jews in Muslim Spain overlapped with the golden era of the Muslims in Spain. You would never find a Jewish golden era with a Christian golden era. Whenever the Christians had a golden era...
I want just to take out Christians.
Just pause it for a moment. I believe in the Quran, doesn't it say that the Christians are going to be the nearest in affection to the Muslim? But I just thought that was interesting based off of what they were just saying about Jews being welcome and having flourishing communities, in Islamic countries or countries where Islam is, the dominant religion. So I just thought that was a bit interesting there.
with the golden era of the Muslims in Spain. You would never find a Jewish golden era with a Christian golden era. Whenever the Christians had a golden era,
I want just to take out Christians. I don't want to speak
No,
about other religions.
Okay, no, of course.
I'm speaking about Muslims. Of course, 100%.
Christian Europe's history is known, though, Rabbi.
Yes.
Christian Europe's history. You said yourself the Europeans feel maybe a bit bad for what happened.
However, what we know that the Muslims treat us very good. We have the very good hospitality in the Muslim countries, even today's day. And I'm sure that when you go now in the Muslim countries like Morocco, Turkey,
Right now.
yes, I'm sure that the government give a special security for the Jewish people. I'm sure. I don't know from the news, but if you search for that, I'm sure that, let's say, the Turkish government, I'm sure they're patrolling the Jewish neighborhood, especially that it could be some people where they get angry of Jews.
Yes.
We have to protect them.
Yes.
I'm sure of that.
There is.
And because of that, it's so shameful what the so-called Jews, the Zionists, did back for the Muslim people. This they're paying back for the such good hospitality. This is so shameful, and it's unacceptable. What can I say? This is one of the things I can't think about it. When I think about it, I get crazy. However, sorry.
Jewish Muslim relations, Jews living under Islamic civilization in peace and prosperity.
We have a question before, but we are all in the middle.
I asked you that. Do Jewish people forgotten this? Have they forgotten?
No.
Before that,
they just come in and everything in the middle.
It'll come up. But what do you?
Okay.
What are your answers? Do most Jews know about this history of how well they were treated by Muslim civilization?
Jewish people knows the history, but from the other hand, because of all the bloodshed that's going on there, people are scared for their life. And Zionists confusing people, look, we're going to save you. Even you are anti-Zionist, you have to side with us. If not, you will be killed. The Muslims wants to throw all the Jews into the sea. They wants to kill all the Jews. Yes. But I know that's false completely.
It's not true.
Of course it's not true. When I come to the protest this Saturday, yes, and last, the police stopped me. In Monday stages, stop me. Where do you go? It's danger. Where are you going? Watch yourself. I told them, don't worry. I show you a miracle. I going in, 3 people between hundreds, thousands of Muslims. Nobody touch me. Nobody say me even one bad word. So, but the Zionist false propaganda, what confusing people so much, this makes people to get confused, and they forgot all around. And they say the first thing I have to save my life here. Our people in Turkey from the media. Yes, I can tell you, all what you see on the media, this is 10% of our work. The 90% of our work is within the Jewish community.
That's fantastic.
We try to clarify people. Our rabbis give speeches. We make booklets and leaflets spreading out in all houses. We're making much
Is it working?
conferences.
Is it working? Is it convincing people from outside of Neturai Karta?
Of course. I'm working very hard on that. Very hard. Much more than I'm working in the Gentile world. I'm working within the Jewish community.
Okay.
Much more.
Okay.
I have much work there.
As a result of that, your synagogue has been attacked?
I must tell you, really, my synagogue was attacked, correct. But this was from the people what are on the edge.
Okay.
Very edge. 10 people, youths, 15 years old, 18 years old. I mean, and when you can see on the faces, there are people they are not normal in the community. I mean, there are people on the edge. I don't know how to call that. Usually, the views what we have about Zionism, that's agreed by all the people in my community. It's correct that not everybody agrees with all the deeds what we're doing. Yes, people will be afraid. Why do you go to the protest together with the Muslims? Oh, what's going on here? In the time when Jewish people were being killed, and you going with the Muslims? But there are still strong anti-Zionists in their wait for the dismantlement of the state of Israel.
Inshallah.
But please, how do you go with the Muslims together? They want to kill you. They are murderers. How you can go with them? They are Nazis. People are confused, yes? This what you can see sometimes in the media, that Jewish people not agreeing with us look good. You will see they are not agree with some small things what we're doing. But with the idea against Zionism, all of them agreeing. 100%.
Do you think there will ever be peace in the Middle East with Israel in existence?
I come back to the first thing what I told you. I'm not a politician. I'm coming from the religious point of view. In the religious point of view, there will never be peace. And you can saw it with your eyes. It was a similar thing like that for 3,500 years ago. You can read it in the Bible. Numbers 14. It's in the Bible. It's there when it's happened when Jews God take them out of Egypt. He wants to take them to the Holy Land. And God told them to stay in the desert for 40 years. Many people didn't agree with that. And they say, no, we're going out by force. Yes, similar to what the Zion is doing. And Prophet Moses told them, this is in Numbers 14, verse 41. Prophet Moses told them, that means, why do you go against the will of God? You will not succeed. As long as the state of Israel is a rebellion against the Almighty, they will not succeed. You can see it. The state of Israel is 75 years. How many countries has been established in these 75 years? I think 50, 60.
Many.
Looks money.
Many.
Everybody have peace. The only place where there's even not one day of peace.
Perpetual war.
Yes. It's unbelievable. It's not normal how people can live like that.
24/7 paranoia.
Yes, it's crazy how people can live like that. Yes, this is the only country where it's like that. What is that? This is the finger of God. And this is in the time when Israel say they are the third strongest army in the world. And they can't manage. 75 years they can't manage. They can't manage. It's dangerous to go out on the road. It's crazy. They can't manage. What is that? And the third power in the world.
So you're saying the third biggest army in the world and the only democracy in the Middle East hasn't yet established peace in 75 years.
Yes.
Do you think this is a curse from God?
And this is the finger of God to show they will never have peace. In the end, they will be dismantled. 100%. I speak to you from the religious point of view, not the political. They will be dismantled. All our rabbis say that beforehand, much before the state has been established, when it was handed to make a state, not, they say, could be they will get a state, but only up to a certain time. They will get dismantled. Of course, we pray and hope for peaceful dismantlement. Nobody looks for bloodshed. But they will be dismantled, 100%.
How can you dismantle a brutal, violent, occupying entity like Israel as it is now and has been for the last 75 years? I know you are a representative and an advocate for peace and justice. I know this. I've for as long as I've known you, from a young boy, seeing you in protest, to every time you've spoken, you've always called for non-violent solution. I'm asking you, how can you have a non-violent solution with a violent actor? How do you...
I give you 2 examples.
Go on then.
Not exactly on this question, how do you describe it? However, to the main question, if it's possible, peaceful dismantlement for the state of Israel.
That's an ideal. We can have an ideal
100%.
in reality.
100% there is. And I give you 2 examples. I don't know how old you are,
35.
so you don't remember it. You don't remember the USSR.
No.
No, USSR was the second power on the world. USA, then the USSR. Nobody can understand that the USSR will disappear without millions of lives. And it disappear without a single life.
Gorbachev.
The second example is South Africa. It's cost life.
It costs life.
Yes, but not so much as people think.
Yes.
People think much, much more than
But the
this.
ANC killed people.
Yes. But it didn't cost so much life as people understand. So, if there will be a will, there will be a way. I'm not a politician. I can't find you exactly the way. But if there will be a will, there will be a way for that.
I only want your religious analysis. Even though I think your political analysis, when you give it, is really good. Last question. And to finish the interview on this last question. What would your words be to Jewish people around the world who are either sitting on the fence or they are completely on the Zionist side? What would your advice be to Jews around the world if you had 1 or 2 minutes to speak to them directly? What would your message be to Jews around the world in light of the Israel-Palestine war?
My brothers, get out. My brothers, get out of the confusion. You are very confused here. This is not a religious conflict. The Muslim people are not our enemies. This is a conflict of occupation. When you say for the Muslims, we are not your occupiers, we are not your enemies, then you are very welcome. They have no problem. Just open your eyes. Look in all Muslim countries. What's going on? Is the Muslims are enemies of Jews? Why they don't kill the Jews in their countries? They have a beautiful life there. Just open your eyes. The Muslims are not your enemies. They are enemies of the occupation. Please step away from the occupation. Step away from Zionism. Clarify from the world. Declare for the world openly. Don't be scared. Don't think you will be killed by the Muslims and you have to side with the Zionists. Bring out your true voice, the true thing what you believe in your heart, what you know yourself. You are not Zionist. Bring it out. Openly, we are not Zionists in the mass. Bring it out in the thousands, in the tens of thousands, in the hundreds of thousands, in the millions. Bring it out. Clearly, you will see that all the danger is disappear. Nothing. You are very welcome by the Muslims. The Muslims have no problem with Jews. They have a problem with occupiers. Take away yourself. Distinguish yourself from the occupiers, then you will see you are not in danger and everything will be solved automatically. From the other side, when you will back up from the Zionists completely and openly, the Zionists will also lose the power. The only power they have is that Jews are in danger, we have to save them. When you will show them, sorry, you don't have to save me. I'm not in danger. You just bring danger of me. I'm very safe, but with the Muslims. And no problem at all. This cut the Zionists by the root because it takes away the justification to have their own country at all. So my message to my Jewish brother, just come out in the mass and bring out really what Judaism says about Zionism. Distinguish yourself from the Zionists, from the occupation, from all the murder and killings, what's going on there. You will see everything will solve automatically.
Rabbi Elhanan Beck, it was an absolute pleasure having you on. On behalf of the Five Pillars audience and the Muslim community, I want to thank you for your years of support and solidarity that you have shown to the occupied Palestinians. And you have been a friend and ally in this cause and a principled one at that fact. So thank you so much for giving us your time today.
Thank you.
Brothers and sisters and friends, I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed today's podcast as much as I did. There's a lot that Rabbi Beck went through that for us to understand and perhaps even shape the way we engage with Jews as well. And this is something which I would like to advise to my fellow Muslim brothers and sisters, that not all Zionists are Jews, and there are many anti-Zionist Jews, and it is these Jewish friends and allies that we should seek and open conversations with, which there should be a level of maturity and sensitivity in terms of how we engage with our fellow Jewish friends and peers and citizens wherever we are. So please, if you enjoyed this podcast, do remember to subscribe to the Five Pillars YouTube channel. You can find this episode on all the 3 seasons on all the major audio platforms. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, that was almost an hour long, that video. It doesn't feel like it at all. That was one of those like good videos, good podcasts. It's really engaging, you know, you're just in there. And I found myself learning throughout, you know, just different aspects about Judaism. I think about the state of the world sometimes, and you know, we all know the terms misinformation, fake news, propaganda, and we know that in most countries that is the case. That is like the base level information that we are all given, you know, on all of our basic news channels. And you know, it's very difficult for someone who, you know, they work 40 to 50 hours a week, they have to take care of their family, to invest any time in research or to find out what is actually going on. So for me, I want to hear straight from the source. You know, I'm glad. I want to hear what the rabbi has to say about this, and I want to know what the Muslims have to say. I want to know what Christian leaders have to say. And there's just so many different types of human beings, and then there's also different levels of sincerity. So when you find the people who are sincere, who are actually doing their best to live by their religion, those are the people I want to hear from, you know. But yeah, that was a great video. This video, yeah, made by Five Pillars, I believe, Dili Hussein. Sir, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. He was the host. The rabbi was amazing. Rabbi Elhanan Beck. Wow. That was cool, though. I'm really glad we watched that. The next video that we'll be doing, we'll be back into the Prophets and Messenger series. So we're going to keep that going. I told you guys, like, when I'm doing research, I'm looking at things and the algorithm brings up all these videos. It's like, I wish I had more time. I wish I could do like 2 videos a day, because every time I get on here, my learning continues, and I don't know, it makes me feel better, and I feel like it helps to make me a better person as well. But yeah, I should be back within 2 to 3 days. We'll be continuing the Prophets and Messenger series coming forward. That's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to do that. So with that said, I hope you guys have a blessed week. I will see you soon. God bless, and I'll see you next time.